Every so often a show comes along that nails its intro. I'm talking about shows like Breaking Bad, Lost, The Boys, and The Walking Dead. And I believe Fallout deserves to be in this group, and in some instances even does a better job. In this video we'll be taking a look at the first scene of Fallout and what makes it so brilliant. But before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe and check out my other Fallout videos for a more in-depth look at the entire season. I'll leave a link to those in the description below. Part of the reason this opening scene is so good is how much it's able to accomplish in its 7-minute runtime. First is the hook. This is the reason you're going to continue watching and usually involves some sort of mystery. In Breaking Bad, it's the fate of Walter White. In Lost, that of the passengers of Oceanic Flight 815. Here it's Cooper Howard, his daughter Janie, and the fate of humanity. As we watched the bombs descend on LA, my mind was racing with questions. Who dropped these bombs? Will our characters survive? And also, what would I do if I were in this situation? This is made all the more harrowing when we care about or empathize with the characters, and in this case it's washed-up actor Cooper Howard. Through the dialogue between these two dads, we learn that Coop used to be some sort of A-list Hollywood actor, but now he's eking out a living doing children's birthdays. They say he needs money to pay alimony, suggesting he's divorced from his wife. But the real reason Coop is doing all this is for his daughter Janie. And this is the heart of what makes Coop such a compelling character. A great intro will have our characters face what's known as their heart of darkness, that thing they fear more than anything else in the world. In Breaking Bad, it's the possibility Walt will be arrested, leaving him unable to provide for his family before he dies. In Fallout, it's the possibility that Coop will lose his daughter, that thing he loves more than anything else in the world. A world which will forever be changed. On a more minute level, Coop's character is polite, which is juxtaposed to these asshole-ish dads who sneer and look down upon him. This only makes us root for him more. He takes pictures with the guests, entertains the kids, and even offers to get a slice of cake for his daughter. When his daughter overhears the dad say something demeaning, Coop lies to protect his daughter and says,
"What'd they say, Dad?"
And I'm lucky to have such a good helper like you.
We also learn little tidbits about his past. For example, he used to be in the military. This alone brings with it a set of preconceived notions of who he is as a person. He probably has strong values, loves his country, and fights for what he believes in. Peppered in are little bits of mystery. Why won't Coop perform his iconic thumbs up? What happened between him and his wife? And does he really have ties to the communists?
Pinko.
Yeah. I still took my money.
But all of this is merely a setup for who Cooper will become after the bombs drop. The Ghoul. How did someone so good, a man who played a just sheriff, become the complete opposite, an evil bounty hunter? That mystery alone has me intrigued. Let's also not forget about Janie. All it took for me to care for her was this one shot where we see her watching all the other kids as she's alone on the other side of the glass. Who among us hasn't been in a similar situation where we feel left out? All of this reinforces one of the major themes of not only the show, but the entire Fallout franchise, the difference between the haves and have-nots. And this theme is so pervasive that it can be seen from the macro international to the micro personal. For example, prior to the bombs dropping in 2077, China and America fought in what was known as the Resource Wars. Wars fought over who will have and who will not. On a smaller level, we have the affluent, those who could afford vaults and survive, and those who could not. Even the birthday party matches this theme, with cowboys, the haves, and Indians, have-nots. The opening scene brilliantly sets the tone of the show, one which masterfully captures those of the games. Fallout can easily go from serious to the absurd, from quirky to the unexpected. One moment you'll have this intense and serious realization of the bombs dropping, and the next we'll see these asshole dads fighting over a spot in a private bomb shelter. The tone stretches to all aspects of the production, from costumes to even the choice of music. In a fun act of foreshadowing, the song that plays at the very beginning is Orange Colored Sky, made famous by Nat King Cole, which has the lyrics "Flash, bam, alakazam." The The costumes and art direction also follow the 1950s aesthetic to a T, from the old school television, photography camera, and the entire set in general. From a cinematic standpoint, there are multiple shots in here that are just bloody brilliant. Rather than show the initial blast head on, the director focuses on Janie as we see her awestruck reaction. This is preceded by the flash of the dad's photography camera, so those inside don't know if that bright light came from it or something outside. This whole using your thumb bit is not only brilliant, but it ties into Cooper's story of creating the iconic symbol for Vault-Tec. I also loved this slow-mo shot of the Los Angeles skyline toppling behind them as Janie and Coop make a run for it. The entirety of the opening not only ends on this epic shot, but ends at the perfect time. It drew me in and made me want more. There are also some sneaky ways of injecting in some context to what's going on in 2077 America. The first is a radio broadcast about negotiations scheduled to continue.
Negotiations were scheduled to continue today as the White House had no comment about the president's whereabouts.
These are most likely peace talks between China and America, but the radio host also mentions that no one seems to know where the president is. Is this implying that the president knew beforehand that the bombs were going to fall? The television continues with more reporting with dire news that something in Anchorage has collapsed, heralding the specter of war.
It's the party, let's just focus on the party, okay?
Later in the show, we'll learn that Anchorage is where peace negotiations between China and America were held, and it seems these talks have fallen through. When the kids sit down for birthday cake, we get this fun addition by the weatherman, which really drives home the fact that we are in a world on the brink of nuclear war.
I'm sorry, I can't do this. I can't do the weather if I don't even know if there's going to be a next week.
Happy thoughts today.
The dad's disdain for communism also reinforces that this is a world very much similar to that of 1950s America, where your next door neighbor could be a dirty commie. The intro also does a fantastic job in incorporating some fun Easter eggs from the game. Now, I won't go into full detail here, I have a separate video for that, but things like the Mr. Handy robot, ads for Nuka-Cola, Sugar Bomb cereal, and Grognak the Barbarian are all fun additions that fans of the games may recognize. It's important to note that these aren't shoved down our throats. They're pretty subtle, allowing those who aren't familiar with the games to take them in without feeling left out. Those of you with a keen eye may have noticed this billboard for Vault-Tec as Cooper and Janie make their escape on horseback. It's also a bit ironic that the show begins with a shot of the Griffith Observatory where most of the finale will take place. Fallout's opening scene grabbed me, set up the series, its tone and theme, and created tons of mystery involving characters I'm interested in. Most shows can't nail one of these, Fallout does all 6, and for that reason, this opening is brilliant. But what did you think of Fallout's intro? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe, and do check out my 2 other videos on Season 1. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember...
So stupid, I should have never trusted a doctor that smelled like that.